Welcome to History's Mysterious Minds, the podcast where we explore the strange, the unsolved, and the unsettling stories that history has never fully explained. From lost geniuses to ghostly ruins, from vanishing acts to whispers in the archives, we uncover the human stories at the edge of reason. Today, we leave the ground entirely. Our story begins over the southern coast of Australia. A young pilot, a clear evening, and a flight that should have lasted less than an hour. But what happened next has baffled investigators, terrified skeptics, and electrified UFO believers for more than 4 decades. Because on October 21st, 1978, Frederick Valentich sent a chilling radio message to air traffic control describing a strange object hovering above him. Then, silence. No mayday. No crash site. No wreckage ever found. Just a young man flying into the dusk and vanishing into the unknown. Was it pilot error? An elaborate hoax? Or something else? Watching from the skies. Frederick Valentich was 20 years old, a relatively inexperienced pilot with about 150 hours of flight time. He dreamed of flying for the Royal Australian Air Force, but had already been rejected twice. Still, he was determined, serious, some would say obsessed. On the evening of October 21st, 1978, he rented a Cessna 182L from Moorabbin Airport near Melbourne. His stated flight path, a short solo trip to King Island just over Bass Strait. He told airport officials he was going to pick up some friends, but investigators would later discover no one on King Island was expecting him. There were no passengers, no plans, just Frederick and the sky. At 7:03 p.m, Valentich contacted Melbourne Flight Service. His voice was calm. At first, he reported that he was being followed by a large aircraft. He couldn't identify it. He said it had 4 bright lights, and that it was moving too fast to be a conventional plane. Then, it's not an aircraft. That was the moment something changed. Valentich described the object circling him, hovering. He said it was shiny and metallic with a green light. He claimed his engine was rough idling. The strange craft was now hovering above him. Then came the final transmission, cut off by 17 seconds of something. A strange metallic sound, grinding, clinking, not static, not speech. And then, nothing. Frederick Valentich was never heard from again. The search began immediately. Multiple aircraft scoured the waters between Melbourne and King Island. Naval vessels joined in, but there was no sign of wreckage. No oil slick, no body, no debris. Frederick had vanished. The incident made headlines. Some called it a hoax, others a tragic accident. But for the Australian public, it was something else. Proof. In the years that followed, dozens of witnesses came forward. People along the coast claimed they saw strange lights in the sky that night, a green glow, unidentified objects moving in ways no aircraft could. UFO groups seized on the story. For them, Frederick Valentich wasn't a mystery. He was a victim of extraterrestrial contact. And the timing? Not a coincidence. Just weeks before, Australia had reported a spike in UFO sightings, especially around the Bass Strait. But skeptics weren't convinced. They pointed to Valentich's flight history. He had failed several exams. He had flown into restricted airspace before. He was passionate about UFOs, borderline obsessed. Was this a staged disappearance? A suicide cloaked in spectacle? Or simply a young, inexperienced pilot who got disoriented, ran out of fuel, and crashed into the sea? One theory even suggested Valentich had been flying upside down, mistaking the reflection of his own plane's lights on the water for a UFO. It sounds absurd. But in the dark, over open water, with adrenaline and fear in play, mistakes can become fatal. In 2014, 36 years later, a piece of aircraft wreckage washed up on Flinders Island, near the area where Valentich vanished. It matched the type of plane he flew, but the connection was never confirmed, and so the mystery remains. No final report, no resolution, just a young man, a strange recording, and a moment that refuses to fade. We often think of UFO stories as science fiction, bright lights, strange craft, missing time. But this one is different, because it's not about aliens or conspiracy theories. It's about uncertainty, about how quickly a routine night can turn into a historical riddle, about how even in our modern world someone can slip between the cracks and into the unknown. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the sky and the silence that followed. If today's episode stirred your imagination or made you question what you think you know, consider following, subscribing, and sharing history's mysterious minds. Have an unsolved mystery, a strange historical event, or a forgotten figure you want us to explore? Reach out, we're always searching. Until next time, keep watching the skies, keep questioning the stories, and remember, not all disappearances happen in the dark. Some happen in plain sight and leave behind nothing but a voice on the radio.